Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to Book Summary 5, the 5-Minute Summary channel. I'm Sammy, your host, and today we're diving into Apprentice to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer, a delightfully quirky romantic fantasy filled with secret letters, forbidden crushes, bureaucratic magic, and the kind of awkward charm that makes you fall for both the characters and the world they inhabit. If you've ever wanted a bit of sunshine and grump romance, but with a twist, where the grump is literally the kingdom's most feared villain, this one's for you. Let's jump into this magical misadventure, so you'll feel like you have read it cover to cover. Our story follows Evie Sage, a painfully ordinary young woman in search of a job to help her struggling family. When a surprise attack by bandits derails her journey, she finds herself saved by a tall, brooding, and slightly terrifying figure, who turns out to be the villain. Capital V. The kingdom's most powerful and dangerous magic wielder, known for his dark robes, his iron fortress, and his total lack of PR charm. Grateful and desperate, Evie blurts out that she needs a job. And to her complete shock, the villain offers her one, as his administrative assistant. That's right, Evie becomes the pencil pusher in a fortress of doom. She handles memos from cursed goblins, files magical HR complaints, manages spell inventories, and keeps track of soul-siphoning contracts. What begins as a bizarre act of mercy soon becomes a routine, and Evie turns out to be very good at it. She brings color into the villain's bleak world. Literally. She puts flowers in the office, starts organizing the dungeon schedule, and introduces the idea of casual Fridays. But beneath the spreadsheets and death threats, something deeper is brewing. The villain, whose real name we learn is Raphael, isn't just a cartoonish overlord. He's wounded, haunted, lonely. His villainy, it turns out, has layers. There are reasons he broke away from the corrupt magical establishment known as the Council. Reasons he created his own rules and built a sanctuary for magical outcasts, many of whom now work under him and fearfully respect his vision. As Evie and Raphael spend more time together, the tone shifts from comedic to romantic. Evie finds herself drawn not just to the mystery of the villain, but to the man beneath the armor. He's precise, elegant, brilliant, but behind his stoic mask is a tenderness that only Evie seems to draw out. And Raphael? He's not prepared for someone like Evie. Her chaotic energy, her unshakable optimism, her insistence on putting her nose in magical things that are clearly out of her pay grade, it both annoys him and unravels him. Tension builds, not just romantic, but political. The council begins sniffing around Raphael's operations. They don't like that Evie is there. They don't like that Raphael is harboring magical beings who were deemed threats. They don't like that he's powerful and independent and maybe, just maybe, not as villainous as they need him to be in their narrative of control. As Evie digs deeper, she begins to uncover disturbing truths about the kingdom. The council isn't what it seems. Justice is skewed. Power is abused. And perhaps the real villains aren't in dark fortresses, but in marble halls. But just when Raphael and Evie's dynamic begins to shift, when attraction turns into affection and trust becomes a fragile thread, a betrayal threatens to undo it all. The council gives Evie an ultimatum. Her loyalty is tested. And in a heartbreaking moment of doubt, she is torn between her growing feelings for Raphael and the moral framework she thought she believed in. The climax is filled with magical duels, shocking confessions, and a dash of letter-writing angst that will leave you swooning. Evie finds her voice, not just as Raphael's assistant, but as someone who can rewrite the script handed to her. She's not a damsel. She's not a pawn. She becomes her own kind of hero, one who believes in redemption, in complexity, and in choosing love even when the world says it's wrong. Apprentice to the Villain ends not with everything tied up in a neat bow, but with a sense of promise. Evie and Raphael still have mountains to climb, but now they're climbing them together. And maybe that's enough for now. This book is a heartwarming, laugh-out-loud, and surprisingly sharp story about labels, power, and love in unlikely places. It's a fantasy with teeth, but also with a marshmallow center. Thanks for tuning in to Book Summary 5. If you enjoyed this magical tale of love, rebellion, and workplace hazard pay, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back soon with another book, and until then, happy reading.